everybody. Welcome to another Driven YouTube yoga practice. My name is Beth. I'm glad that you're here. Today's practice is all about strength, building strength bodies, but in a gentle and kind way. So we'll move and breathe, incorporate strength building in. So give yourself a pat on the back for just showing up today. That's the hardest part. Well, maybe not when we're holding planks, but one of the hardest parts is showing up. So good for you. Let's start seated on our mats. I always love to start my practice with a few moments of being present and prepared for our practice. That is a part of a yoga practice. So let's practice that now. So sitting on the mat, rest your hands. You can be in any comfortable seated position. Before you do anything, you can close your eyes and notice what is showing up in your body. Notice where you're kind of holding the muscles tighter than you need to. Without making any changes, just noticing how you are arriving at your and then become curious about your seated posture. I like to start from the feet up, going down towards the feet, just noticing if my feet are relaxed, keeping the toes tight, just relax the feet. Notice how the left foot might feel different. Being aware of our bodies. We go through our days without even noticing what's going on in our body. So we want to take the time to do that. It's a practice. And then move up into your ankles, your knees. Notice if you like this position. If they don't, hips. Sitting evenly on both hips or leaning more to one. Notice too if you're leaning forward, hinging your try to keep your spine straight, shoulders over your move up in neck and shoulders, all the muscles. Just checking yourself out. You're allowed to do that. Notice what's true for you today. And the other important part of it is checking in with yourself mentally. Are you able to put everything, mind focus, body on the mat, on your practice, on hearing a lot and a lot of chatter? So that's normal, but just be aware of that. And then also notice what you're bringing to the mat emotionally. Whatever that might be. No judgment. Just know. And if you haven't already done so, track the movement of your breath in and out of. As you inhale, feel that sensation around your nose of breath coming in. Notice that feeling of breath coming. Moving into one deep breath. Just an added note here. Some people really don't like this part of the practice. They want to get on the mat and start moving right away. And I get it. But I will also add that if you're especially one of those people who want to get moving in vinyasa, then consider the fact that you need to, that the stillness and breathing and focus inward is maybe something missing from you. Practicing that just for a minute or two. Impact. There's the challenge for all of you who are saying, okay, when are we going to start moving? I get it. Don't worry. All right. So let's just start with some simple head rolls. Draw the ear down to the shoulder, chin to the chest, opposite ear to the opposite shoulder. back. Trying to make sure that your spine is still straight. The breath is still slow and steady. Keep your eyes closed so that you can stay more focused on the movement in the neck and how it feels. Other direction a couple of times. I'm always interested in the fact that one side of my neck in this example feels very different than the other side. One side is tighter than the other. That makes me wonder why that might be. Right now I'm just noticing it. Roll the shoulders back a couple of times, just kind of warm up, get some blood flowing, and a couple times forward. Bring your left hand down to the mat, right arm all the way over, just for a stretch through the right side. Keep that right hip down into the mat, turn your head up, notice everything about this, and then come other side, same thing. Stretching to the right, keeping that left hip pressed down, bring your gaze up, spread those fingers. One more time on each side. Last time. All right, let's move into cat and cow. We'll start slowly and then build from there. I do have a couple of vinyasas planned for us today. So cat and cow, toes can be tucked to stretch the soles of your feet or flat to stretch the ankles, yogi's choice. Spread those fingers wide, press into the pads of your fingertips. Nice alignment, knees under the hips, wrists under the shoulders. Keep the belly engaged, shoulders are pressing back and down, head stays in line with the spine. This is a pose in and of itself, this tabletop. We usually use it just to move into something else, but this is a pose right here. Feel the strength of your body. Push the mat away from you, and then move into the flow, pressing the belly down, shoulders back, up for cow pose. And then exhale for cat, pulling everything up here. Pelvic floor comes up, belly comes in, spine presses up. Inhale, transition back into cow. And exhale. Couple more. There's a lot of things happening in this movement, so I like to try to focus on one thing here. And try to move with the breath. Inhaling when the chest is open, like in cow. And exhaling when the chest is a little closed off, like in cat. And then pause in your neutral tabletop and just kind of move the hips around in any way that feels good. You can turn your head and look at your hip as you move it from side to side. Slowly. And then when you're ready, make your way up into down dog. Oh, first down dog is always my favorite one. Really feel those hamstrings. So let's just pedal it out a little bit to get the blood flowing. Warm up those muscles, stretch those muscles. Let the head relax. Make sure it's just hanging down to lengthen through the neck. Add any other movement here that you might like. And then pause in your down dog. Try turning your toes inward a little bit. See how that changes where the stretch is in the hamstrings and even the calves. Just sometimes subtle movements really change poses. And then when you're ready, walk your feet forward, or you can hop forward, coming into a forward bend. At the top of your mat, release all the way down. Bring your hands into your elbows, chin towards your chest. Maybe adding a little side-to-side movement here, or just staying perfectly still. Shift your weight forward. You want to have a straight line from your heels up to your hips, but if that needs to be crooked a little bit, a crooked straight line with bent knees, that's okay too. If those hamstrings are tight, this will feel better with bent knees. Just trying to get some blood up into the brain. And then maybe if your knees are straight, as you relax into the pose, if your knees are bent, as you relax into the pose, you can straighten your knees a little bit. See if how that feels on those little hammies.
And then slowly release your hands down to your mat and roll up one vertebrae at a time. Keep that belly pulling in. Keep the head and the shoulders nice and relaxed. Arms are heavy, just hanging down. Slowly come up, lifting your chin last. So shoulders straighten first. Then we lift the chin. Ooh, I can feel that blood in my head. Bring the arms up overhead and reach. Spread your fingers, reach up high. Lift your gaze. Root down through your feet. We root down to lift up. Feel the length in your body. Pull your belly in. Get taller on your mat. And then exhale, bend your knees and slowly come forward bend. Straightening your knees as your head comes down. Inhale and come halfway up. Flatten your back. You have lots of options here. Fingertips can be on the mat, on your ankles, on your shins. Rest your hands on your thighs. Nice flat back. Shoulders back so your chest is shining out and head is in line. Sometimes we need to shift forward into our toes for this and then come back into your forward bend. Bend your knees, eyes up, arms come up again, fingers are spread, reaching up as high as you can, gaze is up, pull your belly in, tighten your glutes. It looks like we're just standing here with our legs raised, but if you really engage, it becomes a very powerful and rooting pose, like a strong tree rising up towards the sun. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Come all the way down into a plank pose. So step both feet back, spread your fingers, lean into the pads of your fingertips, and just be mindful of, we don't want the hips falling down, and we also don't want the hips too far up. So nice straight line from the heels to the top of your head. Squeeze the glutes, pull the belly in. Just kind of rock forward and back a little bit, pressing the heels back and then coming up on the toes. You can even add any kind of movement in plank. Sometimes I like to just get really playful in it. Movement is good, so add any movement as your body needs to, any pose. And then pause in your nice strong posture. Shift forward onto the tips of your toes. You can drop your knees here if you like for a modified plank. Bend your elbows, pull them into ribs, lower yourself down, and push right up into cobra. Pelvic bone is on the mat, shoulders are pressing down, pressing your head just a bit. And then once again, if you want to just kind of move those shoulders from side to side, that feels really good too. Nice gentle back bend here, inhaling and exhaling. Tuck the toes. We'll come right into down dog. Oh, that feels good. Pedal it out. And then when you're done pedaling, raise that right leg up nice and high. You can move that leg around. You can bend the knee, just whatever feels good here. Yoga is all about feeling good. I've taken classes where you can only do things a certain way, and there's benefit to that too, but I think as I'm getting older, I like to just be a little bit more playful in my practice. And then bring your foot forward. And for this first time around, we're going to bring the opposite knee to the knee. So you can keep the toes flexed or you can flatten them. Steady yourself here. Check the alignment of that front foot, ankle under the knee. And then when you're ready, raise your arms out. Spread those fingers, reach up high. Press down into those hips to stretch through the groin. And you can reach back. Gaze up towards the ceiling. So you might feel your body kind of shifting from side to side as your mind is wondering, what the heck are you doing? Where is your center of gravity now? Okay. That shifting from side to side is part of it, so don't be afraid of it. Just kind of go with it, breathe into it. And then bring your hands back to the mat. Tuck your toes. Walk that left foot back. Pedal it out. Bend your knees. Hop forward or walk forward. And halfway up, flat back. And exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Arms all the way up. And then turn your palms down, rain your fingertips. Roll your shoulders back and down, and we'll just pause here. Inhale through the nose. Open mouth, exhale, let it out. One more time. Inhale. And exhale, nice and long. Just pausing for a moment to check in with yourself. Remind yourself that you're still on your mat. You're not on that next thing that you're doing after this practice. See if you've been able to stay connected and stay present in your practice, even if you pick one thing to keep your attention on. Usually we pick the breath. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. And exhale, fold. Same thing, other side. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, bring the arms all the way up again as you reach up high. And this time we'll just do a little rope climbing. So reach up to the knot in that rope. And then grab the other knot above it, just kind of shifting the reach from side to side. And then pause, both arms up, fingers spread, rooting down through the feet, lifting up through everything else, and forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. So plant your hands on the mat and step back with the opposite foot back into your plank again. And as always, you can bring your knees down. It's still an amazing pose, so don't feel like you're cheating yourself. You're still doing it. And then forward and back a couple of times. Great for the soles of the feet. But notice, what are you doing with your the other muscles in your body? So are your glutes engaged? Is your belly pulling in? Ribs being knit together? Check all that out. Shift forward. Bend your elbows in and lower your chest. Up into cobra. Add some movement here. You can even bend your knees. That's kind of an interesting thing to add to cobra. Really gives a good stretch through the quads. Or not. Press those shoulders back and down. Shine that heart forward. And then tuck your toes. Come back into down dog. Pedal it out to reset the spine. And then pause. So notice how down dog feels for you. Some people find it to be a really intense pose, and other people can hang out in it all day long. Notice where you fall. It's all good. It's all right. No wrong answer there. Drop your head, though. You should be able to see your knees. And some people really like to bend their knees in down dog, which is totally fine. Stay with the breath. And then when you're ready, lift your right leg up. Down dog split, move that leg around, do whatever feels good. Kind of just be curious as to how movement affects the pose. Or stay still if that's what you want to do. Always yogi's choice. And then when you're ready, just bring that right foot forward. Drop the knee. Steady yourself here. Once again, bring your arms all the way up. Drop those hips. And instead of reaching back, or just add a little
Variation, bring your hands behind your back, interlace your fingers, straighten your elbows, and pull your arms away, shine your heart up, bring your gaze up. And just noticing, notice what part of your body is talking to you first. Release your hands, bring them up over. And hands come back to the mat, step back into down dog. And pedal it out, nice job. Knees to the mat. And child's pose. So after plank and down dog, it's really nice to come into more of an embryo pose, which is just child's pose with arms to the sides. That helps to relax the shoulders and the wrists a little bit. You can open and close your fists. If you prefer to bring your hands forward, you can do that too. So whatever child's pose is your favorite, just let your body relax into that now. Taking a couple of deep breaths, just like a wet noodle on the mat. So not stretching, not doing anything except letting the body and the mind rest. Breathe. And then on your next breath, you can add a stretch. So walk your fingertips to the top of your mat, really stretching through those shoulders and those arms. And then at the same time, press your tailbone back. Feel that nice opening in the spine. And if you want to add a little side stretch here, walk your hands over to the left. Stack your right hand over your left. Stretch through the right side of your body. Take a deep breath in and feel those ribs on the right side just expand and open up, making more room for the lungs to fill up with breath. And walk your hands back to center. And over to the other side. These stretches help to increase lung capacity, which is all good. We need more oxygen in our body. And then walk your hands back to center. Come up into tabletop. Tuck the toes. Down dog. We'll go through that one more time. Walk your feet forward. Forward bend. Let the head hang. Bend your knees. Reverse swan dive. All the way up. Reaching up high. Smile. It's a good day. And exhale, forward bend. Inhale, halfway. And exhale, fold. Step back with your left foot first for plank. And follow with the right. Shift forward and back a couple of times. And then bring your weight forward. Bend your elbows in, lower down. Cobra. Find that heart forward. Tuck your toes, down dog. As you exhale, lift that left leg up, high as you can, reach for the sky. And then exhale, bring that left foot forward. Sometimes the foot doesn't make it all the way. You can just shimmy it forward or actually use your left hand to move it forward. So it's all good. This time around, instead of dropping the knee, we're going to keep that knee straight. If dropping is better for you, do it again this time. But otherwise, try it this way. Steady yourself. Engage those quads nice and strong. And then lift your arms all the way up. So noticing the shifting of the body, especially when that knee is up, that's okay. Reach up with your hands. Spread your fingers. And bring your hands to heart center. So you can stay right here, kind of pressing the hips in towards each other. So left hip is kind of pressing back and that right hip is pressing forward a little bit. Or if you want, you can add a little twist to the left. And if you want to go further, you can bring your right elbow to the outside of your left knee. Enjoy that twist. If you're twisting, come back to center.
Inhale and bring your arms up over. Bring your hands back down to your mat. Step that left foot back. Down dog. Pedal it out. Walk your feet forward. Take a deep breath in as you lift up high. And bring your hands to heart center. Inhale through your open mouth. Exhale. Inhale, bring your arms up overhead, reach. Last time around, exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Starting with your right foot this time, step your foot back, coming into plank, and then follow with your left foot. Shift forward and back. And shifting forward. Remember, you can always drop your knees. Bend your elbows, lower your chest. With control. Control the movement. Open up into cobra. Nice breath here. Tuck the toes, down dog. And then the right leg comes up. Point the toes, reaching up as high as you can. Stretching through the muscles of the groin. But feel that whole body stretch. And then bring that right foot forward. Again, this time around, we'll keep that left knee straight, or you can bring it to the mat if that's better for you. Steady yourself. And then lifting up. Reach those hands up high, push that left heel back, and pause. Find your breath. Welcoming the stillness, even though your body might be shifting from side to side. Bring the hands to heart center, and if you want, you can add that twist, or you can stay front, whatever your body is asking for. Inhale, bring the arms up overhead. And exhale, fold, hands on the mat, step that right foot back. Down dog, pedal it out. Bring your knees to your mat. A short rest in child's pose. So again, just come to your favorite version of child's pose. Bring your forehead to the mat though, and turn your head from side to side. And then make your way up into tabletop. Cross your ankles and just shift your weight over. We're going to come on our backs. Starting to get ready for our Shavasana. These classes go so fast. Keep your knees bent, feet on the floor. Bring your arms out to a T shape. Just a couple of pelvic tilts here before we twist. So inhale as your spine is in a neutral position, so a little bit of a curve. And then as you exhale, press your lower back into the mat and your hip bones automatically kind of face your upper body. The hips really don't come off the mat so much. But as you're tilting, pull up through the pelvic floor and press your navel into your mat. Then as you inhale, release, going back to that neutral spine. And then exhale, press down, pull up, engage. Everything in here is all tight and engaged. And then inhale. Bring your arms out to a T shape if you're not already there. And then just gently rock your knees from side to side, keeping both shoulders on the mat. Everything in the upper body is nice and relaxed. You can add that pelvic tilt as your knees are coming across. It's a nice massage for the back.
Back to center. Pull your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders up off the mat. And as you release, bring your arms out and your legs up towards the sky. Inhale. And then exhale. Squeeze everything together. One more time. Legs come straight up. Arms come out to the side. And then to the count of 10, we're going to lower the legs down towards the mat. So nice and slowly. If your lower back needs a little support, you can bring your hands under your hips. That helps. All right, so here we go. 1, 2, 3. Use your core. 4, 5, 6. This is where it counts. 7, 8, 9, and 10. A deep breath in. Bring your arms up overhead and stretch. And then as you exhale, just relax into your Shavasana. Just a very short Shavasana today. Nice deep belly breath. Release yourself into your mat. Just let your body be a wet noodle. Softening the muscles. Stay here for much longer with all of you, but we only have 30 minutes. So let's start to move and roll over onto your side. Self up. So I challenge you to stay to the very end of the video. A lot of times people turn the video off as we're in, but these are some of the most important parts. Closing moments. Nice and tall in the seat. And notice how you're feeling. This is exactly how we started. So notice how you're feeling now compared to how you were feeling at the start of the practice. Yourself a pat on the back for showing up, breathing, and for moving, doing your practice. Kudos to you. Good job. You, I say, light in me. The light in me. All right, my friends, excellent work. So glad you joined me today. Join me again next week. We're doing a gratitude practice. So until then, I hope you're checking out all the YouTube videos, and I hope you're staying happy and healthy. Stay safe. See you next time.